Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the We Podcast. My name is Amanda, and I am again joined by Dr.Art. Good morning, Gudu. How are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm good.
Tell me it's sunny and warm in Rajkot because it's getting there in Toronto, but we're not at summer weather
It's
yet.
sunny, all right, but it is very hot.
Ooh, and you just celebrated Holi. Happy Holi, everybody. Um, how was the? Were there lots of like? Is there like, I'm assuming there's big celebrations. I have to tell you, the Festival of Colors is something that I think in Canada people know about it. They don't know too much about it, and it's not what we're talking about today. But uh, how was it? I'm living vicariously through you.
It was great. It was great. I was with my parents, so it was great.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, and I hope everybody at home enjoyed with your family, enjoyed with friends, and you may even have a pet. That's what we're talking about today. Today's episode is called Not a Pet Peeve. Pet peeve is an expression meaning a major annoyance, and some people can find their pet, I guess, to be what would you say, big personality, and maybe becomes a pet peeve. But I have to tell you, in Canada, 77% of households. I actually did some research on this. 70% of households own at least one type of pet. So uh, in our house, we do have a cat. Her name is Chloe, and she absolutely runs the house. Are there lots of households with cats in India? Guru?
Yes, we in India also we have lot of pets. Because of some reasons, like my dad was allergic to cat hair. Even I was allergic to animals. So we didn't have a pet of our own. But in India, yes, we do have. Like people love pets.
Sentiment is the same here. And there always seems to be like a overpopulation crisis they always talk about too. So anybody that wants a cat can usually go to like a shelter, and they will have so many ready to be adopted. And dogs, same thing. Did you ever want to have a pet?
Yeah, I always initially I was when as a kid growing up, because we were not pet family, like we didn't have. So I always used, I never had the taste of it, or like the experience of it,
Yeah.
if you say. So what used to happen was I was always used to either scared of it, or I was scared to try at least. But because of some circumstances, I will not reveal the, because of the privacy reasons, I will not reveal the name of the pet. But he was a dog. He's no more, so I don't want to hurt anyone's feeling. That's why I'm not
Yeah.
like, I never had a pet of my own, but that dog was very very close to me. Like the way I see him
Oh,
wiggle his toe, wiggle his. Uh, I'm still visualizing it, so that's why I'm fumbling. Like whenever I used to we have like in India, we whenever we go we press bell. Like rather than knocking, we have that bell system. We press bell. So whenever I'll press
yeah.
bell, he will know that exactly who the person is. On the other side of the door, and he will respond like that. And even before the
Yeah.
lift reaches, he will know, because of they. I think they hear the sound frequency more than us, so he knows that someone is coming, and he'll be so excited and running here and there, and he was so cute. I think he was the most innocent soul I have seen as a pet.
Uh, that's beautiful, and I think it's dogs have a heightened sense of smell, and cats have a heightened sense of hearing. But I don't doubt for a second that he didn't keep a keen eye out to see who, they're very protective dogs and very loyal, and very, very, very
Like
sweet.
we think that we
Um,
humans have emotion and we think about others, but the way I have observed that dog, he had more to give than he was getting it from the human side.
Yes. So they actually, when I was in university, I remember during exam week, they actually would bring in puppies, and like they would bring them into the library, and they would advertise that there would be an afternoon that if you wanted to de-stress, you could go to the library and just pet some puppies and go hang out with some puppies. And I mean, who wouldn't want to do that, like whether or not you had an exam? But the reasoning and the logic behind it was that apparently there is evidence that suggests that it is therapeutic to pet a dog or a cat for that matter. It's like they take your stress.
And
I never had a
yeah,
yeah. Go
and
ahead.
one thing was, because I cannot tolerate heat, so I need some kind of cold. So always used to play AC. He used to sit by my side, like there when we were together. We had a window AC, so he will right where the flow
Yeah.
is coming. He will sit right beside that.
Aw. Well, yeah. I mean, they have fur, so
It was so cute. It
or
was so
like
cute.
at least a coat of hair. Yeah, that's that's the cat does that with the heat. Our cat does that anytime the heat is on, she'll want to be right in front of the heater. So I guess opposite temperature but same effect. Growing up for me, we didn't have any pets either. We were just very fortunate, I guess, to be able to play. I was able to play like sports as a child, my brother as well. So we were just never home and didn't have time to dedicate to a pet, so we never got one. But um, my father had dogs growing up, so I was never even really fond of cats. I was kind of afraid of them. And then when I was in university, one of my roommates in one of the first like places that I stayed at for university, he had a cat, and this cat really liked the food that I was eating. So this cat would come around and I softened up to this cat eventually and started sharing my food. And then before you know it, I think the cat was sleeping in my bed more times than than his actual owners than the roommates because we just became best friends. And when I had the opportunity to adopt Chloe, I took it in a heartbeat, and it's that was like I almost 15 years ago, and time's kind of flown by. Yeah, she's just kind of this presence that uh, she's very independent. She's very calm, but you know she's always there, and she'll always come and check on you, and then she'll go do her own thing, and it's a really it's just a really wonderful thing. But did you know that cats and dogs are not the only types of pets? I need to know if this is a thing like in India as well, because we also have like dangerous animals that people keep as pets. People keep snakes as pets here. People keep, I guess turtles aren't necessarily dangerous, but people keep lots of reptiles here. People keep rats as pets. Um, all kinds of lizards, fish, obviously. People keep all kinds of
And I think
birds.
spiders
Are there
also.
lots
I
of
think spiders also they keep.
yes, yes, spiders, or I guess like yeah, I guess other than spiders, I don't know of many insects, but pretty much if you could think of
Yeah.
something that someone could keep as a pet, I'm sure there's someone that has. Like, so what's funny about this to me is like for example, in Canada, I think I looked it up and like we only have maybe two types of poisonous snakes in the whole country. There's only two, and it's like very rare that you'll even encounter them. There's one in Ontario, and there's like I think one in BC. Um, but like, do people keep snakes as pets in India,
I have
or
not come
is the
across. I have not
relationship
come
different?
across personally, but I think we some of the
Mhm.
people have that, but it is not very common. And as a childhood, sorry, I had to interrupt, but when you said snake, something come up in my mind,
Yeah.
so I was just sharing. So in a childhood, we in India, like people know as a us as a country of snake. Like it's a social type, like a stereotype, if you can say. Like uh, people think that we are a
Mhm.
snake person. Yeah.
Well, even Shiva has the snake
So,
around.
so,
Yep.
like initial in the olden days, we call it sapera. Like he's a person who trains snakes or who has snakes. He comes with the basket and snake is inside, and he like
Uh,
a flute. There is one. It's called bean. So when they play it, the snake will follow them. Like they literally train the snake. So initially we used to have that, yeah,
that's
and
very
they
famous
used
in
to
cartoons here.
like for
Uh,
the fun fair or something. It's not like they used to go to, they'll have their bag and they'll have that snake inside, They'll go to the roads. I'm talking way ancient, not now, but like they will go and they'll
Hmm.
just open like if they see some market, they'll open the bag and they'll play the bean, and the snake will do the trick, and people will like see is it as an entertainment. Like I have seen once, and as I'm a
Uh,
doctor,
that.
it's not nothing to do with pet, but we
Hmm.
used to have our hospital in Veraval, as you know, and we used to have a lot of snake bites also. So I have treated more of the
Well,
snake
so
bite rather than having them as a pet. People used to bring them in the jar,
and
the dead snake. Yeah,
oh wow.
like literally, you'll think that there is milk inside,
Oh,
and then once you open, there is a snake inside. So we had
there's
to
a
warn
snake.
people,
What a terrible trick. Yeah.
especially my mom,
Well,
because she has
so
snake phobia.
oh my goodness.
Like she hears the
Yeah.
word snake and
Well, I
she'll faint.
guess. Well, I guess so. This was why I was wondering, and thank you for confirming, because that the depiction of the snake charmer is something that is like definitely in cartoons here, but I don't think it's necessarily specifically India that they will label as like people who are snake like will have snake charmers like
Like I
depicted
have
in
heard
cartoons, but
in few of the
mhm,
movies, they use it to insult kind
yeah,
of thing.
it has been definitely, but
I have not
I've
personally
always been curious, like
experienced.
where
Yeah,
does
I
the
have
insult
personally
come
never
from?
experienced.
No, but yeah, but I mean but it's interesting to know that it's like there is something cultural like attached to
Yeah.
it, right? That it's not
So
it wasn't just
one
like
very
pulled out of
interesting thing
nowhere, but
about
mhm,
Indian culture, like I'm Hindu, so I can speak about Hinduism. Like we have like
please.
so many gods. Like we each has like they have one power, but we have different names of it. Like sorry, I don't know what to call God. Dai. We may have the name of
Yes.
the Dai.
No.
I I don't know the
Yeah.
pronoun. Sorry. So like we
That no,
have
that's okay.
Shiva,
I
we
think
have
the way you
Ganesh,
described it
we
makes
have
sense.
Lakshmi, we have like Vishnu.
Hmm.
We have all of them, and we have very unique thing which I it just occurred to me that each god has symbolism of a animal. They don't call it pet, but they have that
Yeah.
animal. Like Shiv is snake, and Nandi is bull.
And the
Then
bull.
Ganesha
Yeah.
is Mushak is
Yeah.
rat.
Is
And then
a
Parvati or
a rat? Yeah.
Durga, they have different according to the which goddesses we are speaking. They have like lion,
Yeah.
tiger. Then
Tiger.
like we have
Yeah.
different animal associated with which
Yeah.
Vishnu is Garud. Garud is eagle. So
Yeah. Vishnu
I
is
think there was
yeah, is eagle. Yeah, but
yeah,
then
it
there's
runs in
also
our
snake,
culture, I
right?
think.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a very good point, and I think so. I guess like a way to describe it as well, like the way that I understood it when you were talking about God has many names. I actually really like that description, and I guess it's almost like God taking on many forms, right? But we don't have to. There's so much out there about Hinduism too, and like there, I will ask you to unpack it one day because I would love to educate people
And
too.
what
Hmm.
yeah. So what my personal take is, like when God has one person, or one sorry, what I'm saying person, one animal,
Yeah.
it symbolizes for me. It is my personal interpretation that we all are equal, be it human, be it like animal, and we can
Yes.
coexist. And
Hmm.
like they are equally important, then like same as
Yeah.
humans.
Yeah, well, there's a relationship. I completely
Like the
agree.
way it is depicted in the stories, they have strength, they have emotion,
Yeah.
and we can rely on them, and they are much more than just animals. Like cow. Yeah,
Yes.
they give us so much
Yeah.
in India. Like we have literally, so like buffalo, cow. We use their milk. So like they are very
Hmm.
useful. Not just we are diverting from the pet, but we are just going into animals. But still, like we have, people keep cow also. Farmers and all, they are
Yeah.
cow, goat. Even in Rajasthan, camel.
Yeah.
If I
Yes, which I love.
if you want
I
I'll tell
very
you my fantasy as a kid. I used to tell my dad and mom that I want a pet elephant. And my dad is like, it is so expensive to
oh
have elephant. I think I have to sold my entire empire if I'm a king.
We'll start a GoFundMe. That's it, folks. We're gonna fund a pet elephant for Gudu. But it would be so lovely. I mean, I've never seen an elephant in person other than at the zoo, so I was not close enough to like pet the elephant. I would love to be able to like make contact.
And your
Yeah.
husband was, and
Mhm.
your
Yes.
husband Shivam, he well, as a kid he was very 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 closely attached to animals, you know. Whenever I go out I had to bring him like we had one, we used to get
The little
artificial animals
miniature. Yeah.
as a pack
Mhm.
of toys, yeah. So he will collect all of them, and you know he will like make his army out of the
Yeah.
those
Almost like pet.
animals. So I think we
Yeah.
had, yeah, we had like pet is someone who is very close to you, who stays with you. We didn't have the real pet, but we had the
Yes.
animals like impacted our
Yes.
life as
Well,
well.
well, I think that's I really like your outlook on that because so we envisioned this episode kind of to talk about like pets, right? And the role of pets in a household. But folks, we do this show live. We don't script this. Guru and I will decide on the topic and kind of some general points of what we want to do in advance. And I'm bringing this up because I think the conversation's going in a wonderful direction of kind of just expanding on that idea. What is having a pet is really just having um, a respect for and a relationship with, right? Like another, like an animal, basically. You brought up my husband. I'll say, Shivam says, like, you know, uh, that like there's another animal living in our house. Like we're aware, like Chloe's, like she's wonderful, but um, we sort of have like that respect and that those boundaries, and she keeps them as well because at the end of the day it's like two humans and a cat trying to like figure it out indoors. And That's, if you could make that work and really like understand and learn how to communicate with an animal, and you don't even speak, like she doesn't speak English, or at least I don't know if she does. Yeah.
We speak meow, but
Yes, we
we speak
speak
meow.
meow, exactly. Um,
We understand from her meow that
yes,
what's going on,
exactly.
you know.
And interestingly enough, specifically about cats, um, I there's been a few books written about. Obviously, there's been books written about pets, but there's like some pretty famous works. There's the musical Cats, which was actually based on T.S. Eliot's poems, Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats. I'm mostly naming it because
Oh,
oh,
I
it's
never
it's
heard
so
of it.
lovely. So. Uh, a lot of T.S. Eliot's work is
I think while back you showed me a book and showed me a page. I think how a cat is trying to kill you or
yes,
something like that. It
it's
was a very
how
funny
to
book.
tell if your cat is trying to murder you or something. I have it. I was trying to look on the bookshelves
Oh
to
my
see,
god.
but it's a satirical book, and
I
yeah,
hope
oh,
it
it's
is
it's
funny.
very funny. Lots of comics like within it, and I think there's even a poster which I haven't opened yet, but I mean it just speaks to the impact, right? But and I keep going back to like this relationship and like this intelligence. Uh, when you can tell as well when you're like walking down the street who has had a pet or has had interactions with pets based on when you see like people walking their dog and how other people react around the dog and how the dog reacts to those people, because dogs can tell if you're nervous or if their owner's nervous, and they'll just instantly just usually try to protect the owner, right? So if you ever see like a dog just like abruptly start barking at people, I could bet probably one of them is terrified of dogs, and sometimes it's actually the owner walking the dog that's scared of their dog. um uh but all of this is like I think just something that is very important for like humans to understand, like our relationship with nature, our relationship with the larger world. It's not all about us, right? We don't need to have main character syndrome about our like role in in society or like ecosystems like that.
And as a kid, we used to go to zoos, but you'll be like, I can. I'm very glad that you have also experienced that. We stay near Verawal, Gujarat, in India, and we have a Gir sanctuary where they will be open, and we will be in kind of a cage. That is a very beautiful experience. They are roaming free. Do you remember that day when we visited
The
that
in in gear, yes,
Gir
yes,
Gir?
yes. Sorry, I thought you were talking about a different. Yeah, I remember when we went on safari and we saw lions twice. I don't want to brag, folks, but apparently some people go a whole safari without seeing them once, and we saw two prides. It wasn't the same pride twice. It was, I think it was definitely two, because I don't think they could have made it across. Yeah,
Different, yeah.
uh, but was quite a thing of beauty. And it's interesting. You're right, to see how comfortable those, like, all of the animals that we saw, you would not expect to see outside of like maybe a zoo or like an environment where they're caged, because humans would usually be like so afraid, and they would probably like, feel threatened because we're in their territory. And it's interesting to just see how the animals adapt, like as long as assuming we just didn't get close enough that they felt threatened, which meant that they have a tolerance for us as well. They're like, we're not sure why, but these things
Yeah,
like to
yeah,
look at us,
yeah.
so
And one thing we forget, that people also keep birds as a pet. In India, we
Mhm.
have parrot and lovebirds. Many of my friends had
Uh,
them. That's
do
why.
you keep pets, cockatiels as well? Do you guys have? I think it's the cockatiel is one of the pets that lives so long that you have to put it in your will, or most people do because the pet will outlive you. Um,
No, I'm not known to the
no,
fact, so I don't know.
that's fair. I've never kept pet birds myself, um, but mostly just because I never studied up too much on birds. We did have crows, a lot of crows at like my parents' house growing up, but they weren't my pets. They were more just a funny flock. Yeah, exactly.
Neighbors,
Neighbors
neighbors.
that like I would watch from the window and uh always uh always have like commentary.
So we have pigeons, crows, always,
Yes.
like I have experienced something like Rajkot. We recently
Mhm.
moved here, this house. So like early morning around 6:30, I usually wake up by alarm. But here I'm getting like birds chirp so beautifully outside my house that I wake up with the sound of that, and it gives me like very beautiful feeling
Yes.
waking
So
up.
you're Snow White is what you're telling me now. You're waking up to the tune of birds, and do you put your arm out and they land? I'm just teasing. That sounds so beautiful though. I would so much prefer that to an alarm. Uh, uh, and I've seen the flocks of birds firsthand in Veravel and in Rajkot and in Mumbai, and oh my gosh, it's a thing of beauty to watch them fly too. So to hear them, and uh, that's very beautiful. Rajkot is a little bit so Veravel you mentioned is like on the southern tip of Gujarat, right? Or southern coast,
Coast,
yeah, and then
yeah. Not southern, like it's so India, we are on the
yes,
east
yes,
coast.
but sorry, the southern.
Sorry,
Yeah,
west. Sorry,
you're
sorry,
on the west.
west
No, no,
coast.
that's okay.
I'm sorry. I always get confused in directions, and few things
I,
I'm
I
not
feel
good
like
at.
people would joke it's because we're women, because I was just about to agree. um, but it's like, oh my gosh, how many times would we'll get off the subway and I always go the
so
wrong
I
way?
so as a kid, how we used to remember,
Yeah.
like India, we are standing, the head is north, the leg is south, and then like right hand and left hand. Like I used to remember literally like this.
Yep. We just kind of use the CN Tower. I'm not even kidding. It's that tall that we're just like, okay, that's now we know.
No, but I'm smart. I'm smart. I'm not that dumb. But few things I'm not good at.
You're ahead of me, Guru. You're ahead of me. That's funny. But yeah, so just to situate people, Rajkot is uh farther inland, right? So Veravel is southern tip, and then Rajkot is like is north, and it's the biggest,
Like
yeah, and
we
it's the
can,
biggest
yeah,
city in the district, right?
kind of,
Uh
yeah.
Does that is it true?
I have to find that out actually. Right now, development
Yeah.
is so much that
No,
I have
that's
to
okay.
see. Yeah, but it is developing. Yesterday only we went for dinner, and my mom was like, "It is, I feel like we are moving in, Mauritius or Malaysia. The buildings and lights are like that." And I said, "Yeah, it's
Uh,
developing. It is not the same Rajkot we have seen as a kids,
well, and hopefully it's for like that sounds like for the better, right? It's developing. It's I guess evolving. It's growing. Very good. Very cool. Uh, and I guess to bring it back to our topic, there will be more homes with more pets in them enjoying.
Yes,
I think. I think we've talked about a whole bunch of things and all everywhere and back, but good conversation. Can I end with a joke? Have you ever heard the joke about what the difference between dogs and cats are? I don't own this joke, but I've heard it many times, so we'll finish on this. Okay, so somebody once told me this is what the difference between dogs and cats are. Okay, so dogs look around at everything and they say, "Wow." They say they look at their human. They say, "You give me food, you give me water, you give me shelter, you give me love. You must be God." Cats look around and they say to their human, "Wow, you give me food, you give me shelter, water, you give me love. I must be God." And that's the difference between dogs and cats. So I think that's a good note to end it on. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed our discussion. If you are still listening, you made it to this point, and you want to leave a comment or a photo of your pet in the chat, we would more than love to hear from you.
we would love
Absolutely,
to.
and we
Yeah.
will be
And
yes.
my last word, I want to say that though I love you and Shivam, but I
Oh,
love
hey,
Chloe
I
as well.
think
It's it like until I see her on the video chat every day, my day doesn't end.
uh,
Especially moms.
and that makes me smile ear to hear. I always say it's her world, we're just living in it. So I'm not surprised, and I agree. She's just the most adorable. Folks, if you're hearing this as well, she's in the promo trailer for this week, so you can go and find that on our social medias, and you can see Chloe in the flesh and fall in love with her as well. But all right, that'll do it for us at the We Podcast. This has been Not a Pet Peeve. Tune in next week for more content. All right, let's sign off, Dr. Art. Have a good night, everybody. Take care.
Take care. Good night.
So one for my city, two for my city. God knows what I wouldn't do for my city. Three for my city, four for my city. No, I'm the one who'd go to war for my city. Five for my city, six is my city. Holla at me if y'all vibe with my city. Come try on my city, don't you lie in my city. Symbol the truth, I'll fight for my city.
The West East podcast is part of the We campaign, also known as Anti-East Indian Hate Campaign by Viragya Entertainment. You can weigh in on the conversation in the meantime in our comments section or on our social media. You can also visit www.imshivam.net/w.e. Remember, Vasudev Kutumbakam. We are all one family. Until next time.